God has the right to command you in absolutely every area of your life. There is a will of God. But His desire is not to build a relationship on master-slave dynamics, but something else to happen first and deeper. Come to me, rest in me, enjoy me. For love's sake, I appeal to you.
Have you ever felt like God just wants more from you? More effort, more obedience, more doing. And He wants more than you can possibly give Him. I'm Dan Kruver. In this episode of Light and Truth, John Piper opens Luke 15 to show us that the very foundation of our relationship with Him isn't what He demands. It's actually His love. And that's really good news. This message was originally delivered at Bethlehem Baptist Church on September 3rd, 1995.
Let's see how the Father ministers to this Son. And I say ministers to Him, and it is amazing. It is amazing how this Father treats Him. And keep in mind now that the point of the parable is Jesus looking over the heads of the sinners into the eyes of the Pharisees. This is Jesus' word. If you ever hear anybody say, Jesus never said anything kind to the Pharisees. Jesus never treated the Pharisees as though He wanted them to be saved, ever. You take them to this text, and you show Jesus looking over the heads of sinners into the eyes of Pharisees and unpack what I'm about to unpack for that person. This is the way Jesus feels about the Pharisees. Five simple, gracious things. Number one, verse 28, second half of the verse. His Father came out. Just stop there. The Father is inside. He's singing. He's dancing. This is the greatest party He's ever had in His life. And a slave comes up to Him and taps Him on the shoulder and says, Joseph won't come in. What? Joseph won't come in? What do you mean he won't come in? He's on the porch and he's really mad. He's not coming in. Have you ever been in a family situation like that? It's Thanksgiving dinner. It won't come down. Won't come out of the room. I mean, people who are going to ruin a celebration. It's just awful. And every time I've been in one of those situations, I get mad. His Father did not get mad. He didn't get mad. His first emotion, His dominating, guiding emotion was not anger. He came out. So He comes out. He didn't say, go and tell him he get himself in here and he better have a smile on his face. He didn't commission anybody to go, and He didn't send word, and He didn't holler, hey Joe, get in here. He says, okay, I'll come. Now this is a picture of Jesus. Did you know that Jesus came into the world to save hypocrites and not just harlots? I don't go to church because there are hypocrites there. Jesus came into the world to save hypocrites. Jesus came out of the party, out of heaven to save hypocrites. He loves hypocrites. He loves Pharisees. They get tough words. That's not all they got. Second observation. A little bit farther in verse 28. His Father came out and began entreating Him. Now this word, entreating, I believe Jesus means very specifically to fly right in the face of what this brother is going to say in the next verse. What the brother says is, I never neglected one of your commandments. Now notice two things. Number one, the Father does not come out and say, I command you, come in. He doesn't. He says, won't you come in? He entreats him. And number two, this guy says, I never neglected one of your commandments. And the Father could have said at that moment, you're neglecting this one. He didn't. He didn't. He didn't say it. Why? Because He does not want this son to come in slavishly. He doesn't want him to say, okay, all right, I hear your commandment. I hear you, and I keep commandments. And so, just back off. You don't need to say anymore. Don't talk to me anymore. I'm coming in. The Father does not want that. He doesn't want that from you. I'll go to church. I'll read my Bible. I'll keep my nose clean sexually. I know commandments. I can do that. It's not what He wants. It's not what He wants. So He doesn't try to get it. He doesn't come out commanding, and He doesn't draw attention to this inconsistency. Listen to this word from Paul to his good friend Philemon. In the book Philemon, chapter 1, verse 8. Listen. Paul says, though I have enough confidence in Christ to command you to do what is proper, yet for love's sake I appeal to you. Same word. Wow. You see what's at stake here? What the Father is saying is, yes, I have the right to command you. God has the right to command you in absolutely every area of your life. There is a will of God. But His desire is not to build a relationship on master-slave dynamics, but something else to happen first and deeper. Come to me, rest in me, enjoy me. For love's sake, I appeal to you. And so what I was praying this morning, what I'm praying right now in my head for you, is that God would awaken you to the dynamics of a father-child relationship. Because this is spiritual reality. You could walk out of here this morning having heard me try my best to explain this and not get it. Because it's spiritually perceived and experienced and received. You could push it away from you. The intimacy implied in it could be so threatening for you. You would push it away from you and prefer staying on the porch. The end of this parable is so scary because you ask at the end, well, did he come in? Is he saved? What happened? It just stops. It just stops. And the question is, will he stay on the porch? Will you stay on the porch? Or will you come on in right next to the Father? Third observation of the Father's love and relationship to the Son here. He gives this bitter complaint, and then the Father says in verse 31, and these first two words are all important, and He said to him, my child, or my son. Not my servant, not my slave. The son is just unloaded on him. Why didn't you give me this? And how can you do that? And you could just feel in any given human father the rage at this boy's ingratitude for all the years and his indifference to his brother and his rudeness to his father is rising with rage in the father's heart. And it isn't there. What you hear is, in the Greek, it's just one word. Teknon. Child. Child. Don't you get it? not slave, not employee, not labor and management. Child, don't you get it? I wonder if Jesus looking out over, just as he got to that moment in the parable, as he lifted up his eyes, and maybe he picked out one Pharisee at the back when he said, Technon. You see Jesus doing that? Technon. Or in Aramaic, whatever it was. Child. That's the word to the Pharisee before, woe to you scribes and Pharisees. That's the first word. It is an amazing thing. You know, just reveal to you some of my own struggles as a father. If I get into a situation where I think one of my boys is acting wrong, how easy it is to get sucked in to the dynamic that Jesus is here pushing away. You see, after verses 29 and 30, where this boy just unloads on his father, logic could have creamed this boy. Just could have creamed him. Because the boy has claimed never to have fallen short of one of the Father's commandments, and right now he's falling short of one of the Father's commandments. I mean, he could have just creamed him. There. You're inconsistent. And it would have done absolutely no good, because you would have joined the boy on his turf. So the Father stays right at the center of grace. He looks out on the porch and he says, not logical conversation partner who just committed a flaw, but child, hear me. Hear this word. Observation number 4. Verse 31. My child, you have always been with me. Literally, you are always with me. Now here is the deepest void in the brother's heart. He is not satisfied with the Father's fellowship. What the Father does, instead of saying, my commandments you have kept, He says, I'm always here, and you're always here, and we eat together all the time. Always with me. Now what's wrong? What's wrong with this boy? How can he say, you've never given me a goat that I might make merry with my friends? I mean, he's the heir of the estate. He has a kind and generous father. He has oversight over flocks and herds. What is this sentence? You never gave me a goat. What is that? What is that? Where does that come from? You know what that is? That is the mark of a person for whom the grace and the glory of the Father is no longer their treasure. The Father has become a means to a treasure, namely goat feasts with my friends. In a sense, this guy's a prodigal too, only he doesn't have the guts to leave. He does not have the guts to leave. He's not home. He's not home. He's not at home. He doesn't love being with his father. It's no treasure anymore. I want to be with my friends with a goat, but I'm stuck with you day in and day out at the table. This is really a frightening situation to be in. And I hope I'm lifting up a warning as we close here. Lifting up a warning early enough to catch some of you before you drift into a kind of hardness toward the Lord. that will be almost impossible to retreat from. Oh, we who've been Christians a long time need to be careful. We are so vulnerable to this. So vulnerable. What He's calling for here, what Jesus is calling for here, is that we love God and not His gifts. With me. Here's the last point. Verse 31. The Father does say something about gifts. All that is mine, He says, is yours. All that is mine is yours. How is it His? It's His as an inheritance to sons, not wages to slaves. It's all His. Now this is my interpretation. You can take it or leave it. I'm putting these words in Jesus' mouth. He didn't say them. If you stay on the porch, if you refuse to relate to me as father and son instead of slave master and slave, if you insist on the dynamics of merit and earning instead of faith and grace, if you stay out there on the porch, arms folded, or on the circle instead of sitting at the table, and he doesn't finish the sentence. And I think the reason he doesn't finish the sentence is because he's trying to entreat this boy. He's not trying to threaten him. There's a time to threaten. There is. There's a time to talk about hell and forsaking and losing it all. And there's a time just to say, I'm your father and I'm entreating you. And your brother is inside and he's alive. And you're always with me and everything I have is yours. Would you please come in and enjoy it? Here's what I think God is doing. I know He's doing it in my heart. Longtime Christians are in grave danger of becoming hard towards the weak and towards sinners. And they are in danger of being alienated like that. And so if you have felt hardness creeping up in your heart, or a feeling of mercilessness, or that you are more prone to feel disgust when you see a certain kind of sinner than you are compassion, I wonder if you might not want to linger and seek the Lord a little bit as we close, that He would entreat you effectively and that you would leave the porch and come on in. We'd be willing to just ask the Lord to do that here at the front if you want to come up and pray, or you can stay and pray in a pew, or you can take that prayer with you as you go. Let's stand together and I'll pray. Father, I earnestly beseech you that you would speak these fatherly words of entreaty into the hearts of every person in this room. That you would say, child, with me, always with me. He was dead and He's alive. Come, let us make merry. Lord, would you put people's relationship with you on a father-child grace footing and take them off of master-slave works footing. And so build mighty saints, children of God. And all the people said, Amen.
This is Light and Truth, God-centered preaching to help you see Christ clearly and treasure Him truly. I'm your host, Dan Kruver. Thank you for listening. On our next episode, John Piper begins a 6-part series on Galatians 1 and 2 titled, Grace That Frees, Truth That Holds. I hope you'll join us. For more resources, visit desiringgod.org.